your host, Charise Beckett, and
I am your host, Mark Thompson.
how are you?
If you focus on what you did in the past,
To lead, transform, and shine.
this is a great collaboration. Career Transformation Academy and Queens behind the scenes. Mark Thompson, Charise Beckett, about to tear it up.
Corporately Speaking is back, and we want to be very clear about something. This is not a reboot. This is a reset. I am your host, Charise Beckett.
And I am your host, Mark Thompson, and we're listening to what people were telling us privately and just not on the surface conversations anymore. These are real conversations happening in texts and side calls and quiet moments and after work. Definitely, I get them all. But folks, before we even get started into this is an opportunity for y'all to just know, hey, we're back. We're doing this thing. But we're also letting you know we are real people. We are humans. We have stuff to do too as well. And corporately speaking is almost an outlet for us, but it's also an outlet for you to enjoy, but also talk about the things you experience at your workplace. Because I know I deal with the same stuff we're talking about. Charise, I know
Yeah.
you do as well.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Totally. I mean, we just, like Mark said, we're people. So we, in the middle of trying to launch this, we both have our own businesses. We both have corporate jobs. We both are trying to, we're trying to help people in our jobs as well as in outside of our jobs. But we have our own big projects. We are both working on really big things that require time and energy, and we have families. In the meantime, I launched a consulting business called P.O.I.S.E, and it stands for Precision, Optimization, Influence, Strategy, and Endurance. It's connected to the first of its kind, a psychometric that my sidekick, Gazala, she's in Southeast Asia. She helped me come up with the methodology for the assessment and the research around it. And in the meantime of all that, I wrote a book. I wrote
She
a book.
did.
I did. I wrote a book. It's called P.O.I.S.E. Yes. So I wrote a book, and of course that it's time consuming. The workbook also just dropped. And so I just have been, there's been speaking engagements and just really pushing for the book and a big PR push. So we're people, we have our projects, but we also want to help you all as well. Mark, what you been up to?
So, 2025 was one of those years where, again, the break was needed because we were busy. I was doing my podcast and this podcast. You were doing your podcast and then building a book. So I was thinking, how can I get people more information without having to have my face in front of them? So
Yeah.
I have an ebook. Created an ebook last year. I created a community on Skook where people can just get this information downloaded for cheaper costs. So I already have the consultant business where people can actually get career services and get career help to get that dream job that they want to acquire. But I said people still don't have the funds. Last year, the economy was just wonky, but how can I still get more to it? So even going into 2026, I'm building even more. And I know you are as well. We're using AI to the max, and AI is actually creating some very foundational things that I think will actually expand our careers. And with this is what we want to speak to you all about. It's not all about going to that 9 to 5 every day because it does get you some good information, but you all are leaders. You have purpose in other than your work. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to drive some success outside of the workplace. And now, so feed that to you all. I think that is my purpose. I think it's a part of Charise's purpose. We have a lot of great stuff for you all. So you need it. Tap in, continue to watch these podcasts. We're going to pour into you all, and it's going to be more incredible. 2026 is going to be great.
It's gonna be
we're
amazing.
dropping a lot of, yeah.
It's gonna be great. Definitely. And I think 2026, everything before 2026, I was thinking this is gonna be a good year. You build the foundation. I think, and I'm moving back into our content. We're in a different moment professionally, both of us. And I think the world is in a different moment professionally. The economy has shifted. Corporate loyalty is shifting. And a lot of Black professionals are realizing that the playbook we were handed, it just no longer works.
Right. So we're jumping into it then. Folks, that's enough about us. We're being real. We're humans. But today, I'm not even sure where we at, but I think you just said that and it no longer works. So this season, we're reacting to the headlines. We're future focused. We're talking about strategy, leverage, and power and sustainability. All of that is important for our future.
Yeah, and we also shifted the format. We're moving into intentional series, not one-off conversations because the moment we're in, it requires more than reactions. The series we're focusing on right now is the future focus, not just reactive. It's a 5-part series because surviving corporate America isn't the goal
Mm,
anymore. It's the building the future is really the goal. We're not here to vent. We're here to prepare and help you all prepare. And so I think it's gonna be great.
yeah, yeah. So, why we chose this episode, and this episode that we're going to be talking about is Black professionals need exit strategies, not just promotions. And that couldn't be so true. We fight that tooth and nail every day. So in this episode, we're definitely going to dig that in this conversation for most people we are talking about the conversation that most people are having quietly. So I've had this conversation with my colleagues or my employees outside of work, but I'm not putting it in the forefront. So especially at the director level and above, these are very profound conversations that need to have. So we're going to talk about this today.
Yep. And the question isn't, can I get promoted again? That's, a lot of times this is what we're hearing from people is like, how can I get promoted? Even in when you talk to career coaches that are coaching people about the next step of their careers or executive coaches or leadership coaches, I mean, I do that. They're like, well, how can I get promoted? And the question is really, what happens if this stops working? Because it
Right.
right? Like that's the actual question. So today we're talking about why Black professionals need exit strategies, not just these promotions in this insulated organization where you do not really control your market
Yes.
cap it's capped. It's capped. Like, and you don't have to be capped. Your income doesn't have to be capped. And so when you think about promotions, I think about them in this way. I think about, okay, yes, we want to be promoted in jobs. I mean, being rewarded for the work that you do is
Hmm.
truly really important, but promoted internally seeks validation. What are you
Right.
doing externally, right? That is building that exit strategy so that you are not just relying on a pick me for work
Yeah.
you've done for somebody else to make another organization rich.
That's a great point, is that your external work is way more important than your internal work because we're going to the job. Everybody there has a 9 to 5.
Right.
So
Everybody
nobody
does.
owns anybody, but some people get that complex. And this is how you start evaluating. Wait a minute. I'm very strong because of this work outside, because of mentorship, because of networking, because of learning. And now I'm bringing it to work just to get a 2% increase each year or to get a 5% promotion when I can take this information and now be exactly like my boss or somewhere else at another company. So that's the point about the external work that'll bring up and up level you into thinking about, when you hit that ceiling, what is my exit strategy going to be?
I mean, yeah, right. And the other part about that, and I talk about this a lot in Queens Behind the Scenes about success being broken. The success of yesterday does not work today. Success is definitely broken. It was bred out of white male industrial era activities. I mean, that's
Right,
where it was built. So we're taught, that success means the promotion, director, senior director, vice president.
right.
And for a long time, that worked. It did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It doesn't until it didn't.
Yeah. Until it didn't.
But because a promotion gives you status, but it doesn't always give you protection. And that's, man, I'm dealing with that currently right now.
And you're like,
Not
I'm
with
dealing with that.
me. Yeah. So even for me being the manager, and this is something I saw this online the other day and was talking about great managers celebrate their employees. They're willing to promote them and bring them up. But you always have some leaders who are just fighting budget and tooth and nail and sticking to their own perception and also getting the
Yeah.
things right that they believe and not what the company is pushing. So you have great leaders, you have bad leaders, and this is why you get the ceiling. You hit the ceilings faster based on your leader. So if you have a good leader, promotion feels good. But if you have a bad leader, promotion feels like, I'm about to jump into hell. I'm
Yeah.
going into
Well,
another space.
and that's why looking for the promotion shouldn't be the ultimate goal.
Yep.
That exit strategy is the ultimate goal. And what we're seeing right now, a lot of very accomplished Black professionals are feeling exposed. I mean, you got to think about it. What's the data point?
Hmm.
Over 400,000 Black women have been pushed out or have left the
Hmm.
workforce. And like, that is insane. That was in
Right.
2025, I believe. I mean, that is That is crazy. So a promotion without leverage is just a better seat at the same burning table.
Right. Right. That is, man, I was looking at this is just a story because I saw a cousin of mine, working at a great company and just got let go. And my mother was like, "What happened? Why'd she get let go?" I said, "How am I supposed to know? It's a different company, but a lot of
First of all, I
companies."
don't work there.
Right.
Parents always want to ask you, well, what happened? Ma'am, I have no idea. I do not work for those people.
No, not at all. Like I don't have any clue. But you started to see that trial and that trend. I was like, these are great professionals. What I am seeing the glory of is they're finding the job that connects to them. So instead of where they were, now she's a VP. I'm like, she became a VP because of the move. Sometimes the shift is purposeful, and we have to recognize that.
Absolute. Well, the absolute. That's so important that you say that because sometimes you are in a system where you have outgrown the container. I talk about this
Mm-hmm.
consistently. Sometimes you outgrow the container. And when you outgrow the container, you sometimes have to take your little wings and fly away to a bigger
Yep.
container that is able to hold you. And I want to say
Right.
this clearly. This is not like anti-corporate. We both have jobs. We've both
Right.
succeeded inside those systems, right?
Right. Right.
And
And
good.
no, I thought you froze. I was like, okay. I mean, but
No,
that doesn't
I ain't
mean.
froze. I got a good connection.
Yeah, we look, folks. We also upgraded our systems. We all got better computers. We got better mics.
Better
We
background.
better backgrounds, everything. So, but success doesn't mean silence, and that doesn't mean pretending we don't see what's happening. And we see it all the time. Sometimes it's like when to choose to be vocal and when to choose to be quiet, but also be quiet in a strategic move. Again, we have to play a corporate game, and this is for my black folks. You have to play the game in order to find success for your life, not for the job. That job doesn't care about you. You die tomorrow, they're looking for somebody in the next 2 weeks. So that's the thing when I think about it. I don't put my heart into the job. I put my heart into my life. And the job is the skill sets that I can do that job well. So if I get promoted off that, that's fine. If not, there's another company that sees success in what I've done. And I'm going to show them that. You got to keep moving. Progression.
Yeah, it's the container.
Mm-hmm.
It's outgrowing the container, and it is, and you know how much I hate playing the game because I'm always like, "Oh my gosh, this is like," and it
Yeah,
is
I
exhausting,
hate it.
but it's not the game of the job. I don't play that game. It's exactly what you said, the game of life. An
Right.
executive coach asked me a long time ago, or not even that long ago. I mean, it was months ago. She was like, "What kind of life do you want to have? Because your
Mm,
career has to fit around your life. Your life doesn't fit
right.
around that job." Now, again, we have to also remember people go to work and get paid. That's the transaction. Like, that's what
Mm-hmm.
I keep having to remind people. You
Right.
go to work and do work, you get paid. That is the transaction. So,
Right.
just, you know what I mean? Because people, I think, get caught up into this big office or listen, the check, it ain't never not cleared.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's always
Right.
clearing, So this conversation is about being informed, not being fearful, strategic and not reactive. We want to be strategic about how we set
Mm-hmm.
up our career so that it supports our life and it's not our life supporting our work. It's just
Exactly.
that's just ass backwards.
Right. 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 I agree with that. All and 50,000%. Life is first.
50,000. So I do want to move into some data points. Like most director
Mm-hmm.
level and above roles are at will. We know that. We work, we
Mm-hmm.
work and we know that. Very few senior leaders have real employment protection.
Right.
Black professionals remain significantly underrepresented at the executive level, often under 5 to 7% in large organizations.
That sucks. Honestly. Let me tell you. It happened to me.
You just
And
literally thought about it and was like,
yeah.
that sucks.
Yeah, it does. It happened to me because I saw it. And when the higher you go up, you have more access to certain information
You're
and
closer
budgets.
to the sun. That's what I
Yeah,
say.
and
You're
you
closer to the
go,
sun.
wait a minute, we're over budget by this amount. That's my salary. Ooh, exit strategy. Exit strategy right now because I know if and the thing about me, and I will go into the next part too, but the thing about me, I pay attention to the business. I keep my business acumen up, which means I'm noticing what everything is going on, but also I want to pay attention to I like to work to alleviate my job on purpose because that means I'm working to reduce everything that I do and push it down because that means we're going to save money some way and somehow, and then think of new ways for me to actually be a part and strategic in the company. If I do that, then I know that everything you've actually signed me to do, you have no idea what you're doing, and I mastered it in a couple of months or weeks, which shows proficiency in my role as well. But
Yeah.
when that happens, if somebody doesn't like you and perception isn't there, they'll be like, you know what, we need to find some extra money. We're going to let him go. Happy to me. But I took that information, value went to the next space. So moving to it,
Say
I
that
want to just give
again.
that story. Here's the
Wait
part.
a minute. Say that again. You took that information and what? Value went to the next place.
Went to the next place. That's where. But guess what? Where they say I was ready, so I didn't have to get ready. I
Stay
already had
ready.
everything in
Stay
place.
ready.
I was already ready. So that's my story, because again, it's always valuable to me, and because I look at where I am today, and I'm like, thank God I was
Well,
ready.
and it
Thank
doesn't
God
always
I've
start
done it.
like that. Like, it doesn't always start
Right.
like that. And I think that that's what I think, number one, I think a lot of times that people start to think that, like, this is the way that it works when you go into a company.
Right.
It's always a constant. They don't look at the lateral moves that you have to make in order to make the move here.
Mm-hmm.
And because money obviously is tied to more responsibility and promotions, that people value promotions, and they start to forget that they're number one, that job is
Mm-hmm.
not the only way you can make money. You can also there are also the skills that you have. There People value those outside of the company. I'm actually reading this book. Well, I read it and I'm so hype about it. We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rogers. I think that that's
Mm-hmm.
I think all women need to read it, but especially Black
Yeah.
women and especially just Black people, period, because we have not typically been raised up in environments where money is a
Mm.
conversation that is I know a lot of white women who are like, my mom told me to marry up. And I was like, my mom ain't never said that.
Right.
Mom, now listen, I'm married, great. But I'm saying, like, money
Mm-hmm.
is a conversation. And since we had theoretically and typically have not had that actual experience,
Right.
we have got to start learning. And I think this book was really good for me because I was
Mm.
like, there were a lot of really good nuances to how you make money and how you keep
Mm-hmm.
money. And most of the book really didn't have to do with making money through a promotion. I don't know that I heard that many times in that book. And that's what I'm saying is, like, there are more
Mm.
ways to make money outside of that promotion. Stop attaching your value to these promotions, because also people are making the decisions about the promotion. So
Exactly.
there is inevitably some bias there if your system is not measuring those promotions to some type of metric, which a lot of companies are not.
Right. 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 And to go back into the segment of what we're all tying this together. So, like, when restructures and layoffs happen, like, Black leaders are often disproportionately impacted. Happened to me. And not just because of performance.
To me,
Yeah, happened to
we're
me.
gonna know you're the guy who got laid off.
I'm the guy that got laid off. Yeah, I had it's if you go back and look at my career transformation, I did a whole video on it, how I got kicked out. It's a funny
You said I
video.
got kicked out.
I got kicked out. I used the Karate Kid bit. It looked like I got kicked on the ground. I was like, hey, everybody, I got laid off.
You got laid off.
But because we're frequently, newer to senior roles and have less institutional installation, I mean, this is a big piece of it, and that's probably the reason behind it. You come in brand new, they have an excuse. If they can find any nick or way to say, you know what, we don't have enough skin in the game with this person, let's let them go. Let's ask everybody how they feel about that person, because that goes back to the perception. Again, for Black people, your perception is always going to be about something that somebody else thinks you're like, and it could not even be you, and that could be the reason why you got let go. But you're going to get the lie in the conversation.
Yeah.
Just be true.
And right. So then you're left there. And then many of us were never taught to build income or security outside of those
Right.
jobs. That right there, we're taught to earn salaries, not how to build safety or wealth. And that's why these exit strategies are so critically important.
So critical. So critical. So, if you've ever felt like one reorg could change everything, or you carry more responsibility, but not protection, or you're a senior to start over, but too exposed to relax. I mean, this is where validation, you can't use these things as validation. You can't look at that. And going back to even like we're talking about the exit strategies, you can't do that introspection based off the exit or the restructuring or the layoff to impact who you are. Because that's one of the things that happens. It's almost like
But yeah,
grief.
your
You're like,
worth, like it's tied to your
yeah,
worth as a whole person.
yeah, you will
As a
destroy
whole
yourself
person,
if you
yeah.
start thinking, I'm a failure, I'm a loser, Nope, nope. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps and understand you got that far in the first place, and you can do it again. So that's one of those things.
And also, and I'm moving down a little bit, Mark, but promotions are not the same as power. I always say that.
Mm,
Promotions give you title, give you scope, they
mm-hmm.
should. They give you visibility.
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, leverage too. So leverage gives you options. They give you negotiation power. That's one of the things I'm trying to work on, negotiation. I don't know about you, but you've to the mountaintop a little bit. You're almost there. You're almost at the E-suite. But that negotiation power is a big piece in leadership. But the ability to make decisions without panic, now that's something I feel like in my role or even through my life have mastered. Just because I'm not scared. I'm not scared of people, and I'm scared. Work is work. I'm not scared
Work
to
is
make
work,
a decision.
and like, and the last thing, and the only thing you can really do is listen. I don't want this to come off reckless because I think it could sound that way, but
Mhm.
my mom always told me the only thing it can do is tell you no. And so for me, it's like I'm not scared of you telling me, look. And this is for probably most Black people, we gonna find us a job, okay? That's number one right
Right,
now. We gonna find a
right.
job, but not just that. It's like I'm not ever going to work being scared of anyone or any decision they're going to make because at the end of the day, it's a job and it does not make my life. And the truth is many Black professionals are promoted before they're even ever protected, right?
Right.
Like it almost is they're promoted generally, oh gosh, this doggone
Mhm.
administration, this
Yes.
meritocracy. We're promoted because of merit, because we earn
Yes.
it, but then you're not protected because you also haven't earned in their protection because you're not in the click to be protected.
Mhm.
That's what I see more than anything. And another thing that I think you said earlier, I believe you said it earlier around like the and I want to look up to the notes. I think it was around like the reorg could change everything and negotiating
Mhm.
power. The negotiating. So many
Yes.
of us don't know that. I mean, so many of us that have reached even, the level of my career.
Mhm.
You know why? Because a lot of
Right.
people don't know what to negotiate. That's the problem.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't
Right.
know about golden parachutes. A lot of people don't
Yes.
know about like asking for a severance before you start a job. Now, I will say this. Now, you can't be coming in here as a coordinator talking about I want to negotiate like they going to look at you like you have lost your damn mind.
Right,
But
right, right. There's levels
but
to this.
once you get further up in an organization or further progress, you
Mhm.
keeping the secret of what to negotiate is the scam, right?
Right.
The scam is
Right.
that, like, to keep
Right.
you from knowing that there are things that are there is an ability to have something to negotiate because most times people just think it is just money or it is just this.
Mhm.
You got to do your research. You got to really, but you also have got to stop looking to these roles as your
Yep.
only way to make money and your only way to be successful. You got to start
Exactly.
building exit strategies outside of these jobs that are generally controlled with people who don't look like you and do not even
Right.
understand your background or lived experiences.
So exit strategies are bigger than the next job. It is your life. It is outside. It is what are you doing to create other vehicles, other standard means of income. I think that is important to think about for any and everybody because again, there's a lot of jobs that are going to disappear and there are a lot of jobs that are going to be created. And if you're not staying up on what that is, then your exit strategy could be muted to nothing. And
Exactly.
you're a manager at Walmart. because you got the skill sets to be a manager.
Sure.
So you said two things too. So I think folks go back and watch these two episodes. So we had a episode talking about tokenism, and we broke some of that stuff down. I think something else you said earlier, but we've got a couple episodes that broke down some of these things, and we talk about getting jobs. It's not protected. So I know I've been hired because hey, we need during the DEI span, we need a black face.
No, you didn't
So
call it the DEI span.
I had to say span because they
You
cut it
said
off.
the DEI
Yeah,
span.
we had a we had a run.
We did have a run. There was a run.
Right. So, if you were hired because they needed, your skin color amongst the group, you still weren't protected, or you were protected for a while, but then it was like, wait a minute, we don't have to protect you anymore? See ya.
But do you see how quickly these companies kicked it to the curb?
hmm
That's what I'm
Right.
saying. So that's why, and Mark, that's, I think you get to go into like the exit strategy is not quitting, right?
hmm Right. So I mean, let's be clear about that. The exit strategy does not mean you're unhappy. It doesn't mean you're disloyal. It means, you're not planning to leave tomorrow. You're not doing that. You're just basically setting yourselves up for success.
Yeah, it's just building parallel power, right? So your
hmm
livelihood isn't tied to one organization's mood or leadership change or economic cycle. Exit strategies don't mean you're leaving, they mean you're not trapped. You have
Exactly.
optionality, right? You have
Exactly.
optionality.
I agree
So
wholeheartedly.
yes, optionality. So the four exit strategy lanes and their practical frameworks, the first one is ownership, right? So ownership changes the conversation. This could be a business, an equity participation, angel investing, profit sharing. Ownership separates income from wealth. That is
Right.
ownership. So that is one of the strategies.
Yes. I think that is a huge piece, especially for just speaking on that. I'm closing my eyes because it hurts to see a lot of people who don't know what gaining wealth or trying to get wealth is in our communities. So we got to really do some more driving some business and driving some more information around that. And many seniors already have expertise as far as what people pay for. We do it in our side hustles as well. But when you think about what advisory work allows you to do, if you're thinking about outside entrepreneur or even something that you're good at, and this is where I dig deep into this too. I tell people about this in Career Transformation Academy. If you've been doing something for 20 years, you're an expert. So how do you monetize that? You want to think about monetizing your experience to get paid for it and get rid of that fear. I think that's something we can add there. It's just you can't be afraid because you did it over here for somebody who asked you to do it for them so you can get a paycheck. But why can't you do it for yourself and get your own paycheck and find that avenue? So, building credibility beyond your employer and then create optionality. Create optionality if circumstances change. That's a part about extra strategy. That's a part about building, growing, and digging deep into who you are. I think that takes a lot of introspection, that takes development, but also it is removing the fear. And if you believe in a higher power, ask your higher power what you need to do.
Well, I know we both believe in a higher power.
Exactly.
But to your point about advisory work and being an expert, I read this again in that book, Rachel Rogers' book. I thought it was amazing. I'm
We
pitching
got
her
to
book
drop
more than
that
I
in
am
the
my
link.
own book.
Yeah.
Did you get that book though?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
But we're going to put that for everybody.
yeah, we need to put it in the show notes and my book. But yes, but Rachel Rogers in her book, she talked about it, and it wasn't, I don't think her own. I think she was referencing something she knew is like there are those zones. You have your zone of competency, zone of
hmm
incompetency, zone of what is it? Like exceptional. I'll find it.
hmm
And then there's your zone of genius.
hmm
What Find your zone of genius and monetize your zone of genius.
Right.
And that's I gotta
Right.
find it. I'm gonna find it on my phone right now because I hate to misstate things in there because I know it was zone of competency, zone of incompetency, zone of excellence,
Zone
and
of excellence.
zone
I love
of
that.
genius. And so find those things that fall into your zone of genius, monetize on those. You have if you've been, like you said, if you've been doing something for 20 years, you have credibility in that.
Right.
Find your
Right.
lane there and monetize it. There's also boards are not just reserved for retirement or rich people or whatever.
hmm
Boards, they're for leaders who understand strategy, governance, and risk. Black professionals are often invited too late to the table or not at all because no one told us to raise our hands early. Those
Right, right.
boards are critical. Did you have anything to add around boards?
No, I need to find one for myself. That's what I'm definitely, there's websites about joining a board. And again, if you've got all this expertise that's outside, that's the other way to, if you have the time too, and I'll say this might be a side, I might get in trouble for this, but a lot of times when people are looking for exit strategies, they feel they need to go back to school. If you're
Oh,
40,
no, you ain't gonna get in
45,
trouble for yes, you need some type of certificate. Go back. I mean,
yeah,
I'm okay with the certificates if you're trying something new, but, like
certificates are fine. Yeah,
yes, but, like, now you gotta now you got 20 degrees, and Black people do that. We do that a lot. We
a lot.
just a lot. It's like, "No, I'm not going back to school no more. Y'all not gonna put me in debt. Not
Yeah.
there again. Not
And see,
there
those
again."
those degrees say you've done the work,
And you
but
were
it
consistent
doesn't.
doing it because you stuck with it.
Exactly. That's why undergrad was there. Like, if you're doing something for a certain amount of time, double down on that, learn the
Yeah.
certificates, get the
Yeah.
increase, figure out how AI is going to affect your job,
Perfect your
learn
job,
that.
and then right.
Exactly. Get into the spaces that are going to elevate what you do, because people are thinking, I need to do a switch. Like, no, it's too late, because again, you end up running into ageism. You start running into people saying, why am I going to hire a 55-year-old Black woman or a 55-year-old Black man? No, at this age and point, I've heard this several times, you should be at a senior level manager. If you're over 40, I would say you should be. And this is,
Unless
again,
you're
my
starting
opinion.
something new.
Yes, yes, yes. It's just, like I said, that's just my opinion. If you've been in something 20 years, if you're still at a junior
But
and
some
lower
people
level,
wanna be there.
that's
Listen,
another thing. Yes, if you want to
some
stay there,
people
stay there, but don't
some people
complain
but when
when you
you
ain't got no
don't
exit
but
strategy.
see, that's the thing. That's the thing. People want to stay in those there are people who
Hmm.
are very comfortable not going up
Right.
in corporate America, which I can appreciate that because there are ways. Now listen, so I agree with staying in that. You First of all, do what you wanna do. I mean, look, I'll control your pockets. But some people like to stay complacent. They wanna be a steady Eddie in their job. They're good at what they do. They wanna stay there,
Hmm.
but then will complain because they're not getting the income that comes with that.
Right.
My
Right.
advice to that is, if you are going to stay in that comfort zone, you obviously know that job like the back of your hand. So if you are
Exactly.
already doing that, then your exit strategy means monetizing that outside as well. So
Yep.
whatever you have learned,
Yep.
so then now you ain't got to worry about just that. You could do this with your eyes closed, and then you could be running your own
Yep.
shit over here.
Yep. I call those NPC players, for those who play video games. These are the people in the
What is
background
it called? Non
who are just
something.
non-player, whatever. I forgot what it is.
Yes,
But
they said it on Jumanji. The guy that rolls up
yes,
in the car.
yes.
Welcome to Jumanji.
Yeah, those are the people that are, your greeters, your happy folks, the people, I'm going
Yep.
to work every day. Again, I don't knock it. And I don't those are the people that we end up selling to,
Yeah, and
because
they're steady and they're steady
right.
Eddie. Companies need those people. Like there's a
Yes.
role for everybody, right? So
Yes.
companies need those people. But in that same vein, then you're like, "Well, I ain't been promoted in 60 years." Well, you said you didn't want no extra
Yep.
work.
Yep.
And so
You wanted to
so
do what you
and
were doing.
And if you don't want no extra work, that's fine. And if you want more money, that's cool too. Make your own
Yep.
lane based on your zone of genius. You do not have to put
Mhm.
everything like, do your job. You do the competencies of your job. And if you've been doing
Mhm.
that for 20 years and you don't want to grow and you don't want to grow inside that company, you want to keep doing things the way it is, but you want more money, it's time for you to start looking at doing something outside of that
Right.
that you can capitalize on that is in your zone of genius.
We're gonna have to do some motivational speaking for some folks. Yeah, I was like, a good book. Amen. Amen.
I'm just saying. Anyway, Leverage Capital Reputation Network. What's up, Mark? Tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of speaking towards it, like your name, your thinking, your voice, that's capital. So, it's almost a belief system in yourself. When we think about exit strategy, that comes with intentionality. So you have to know and believe in yourself to be able to do things like this. If all of it lives inside one company, then that's not leverage. I mean, you don't fully own it at
No.
all.
No, that's
So
their intellectual property, boo.
right, right. You just gave your genius to the company that paid you, and they're, a sweatshop for you because they're paying you pennies to utilize your genius.
Yep. So, hard truth moment.
Right.
Corporate America is just not built for emotional loyalty. It's built for performance cycles, right?
Right, right. And Black professionals often give extra labor. We just talked about that. Extra loyalty, extra patience. I mean, we're all guilty of it because we didn't know, and honestly, we don't know until you get through a couple years of cycles of what that looks like.
Yeah. And we give that without extra insulation, extra protection.
Hmm. Right.
So, future focused, we are focused on the future. So, the next era of Black leadership isn't going to be about survival, it's going to be about strategy.
Right. And exit strategies don't make you less committed, they make you less vulnerable.
Promotions are nice, options are power. Remember that optionality is always the key. So,
Right.
if this conversation resonated, share it with someone quietly thinking about their next chapter. Stay with
Right.
us this season as we focus on building futures, not just reacting to systems. Mark, take them home. Subscribe. What? I always forget it.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead and subscribe. Corporately speaking, it's out there. It's on YouTube. It's gaining. We're gaining ground. We want everybody to get more information. But again, it is corporately dash speaking at YouTube. We'll drop the links in the video. Add some comments, some color, whatever you want to put on there. Let's talk. Let's keep some communication going. I think we talked about last season. We're going to try to do some more lives, get involved. We may bring on some guests. It's hard. I'm telling you, folks, it's hard to bring on guests because we're not schedulers. We need an assistant. We need somebody
And
to
I'm not
bring
a
on a
talent
guest.
scout. I told you, I'm not no talent
Yeah.
scout. I cannot. Trying to build, trying to do this, like what we're doing and
Hmm.
building this and trying to help other people. Then I have Queens, you have Career Transformation Academy, I have a book,
Right.
consulting practice, and a job. Who am I asking? You'll get my
Right.
neighbor.
Right, 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 right. So, you know what? We're going to leverage soon. We're going to leverage AI. We don't have to do any of this. All we got to do is record the podcast, and AI is going to build everything for us, and we're going to be beautiful. So, with that being said, again, Career Transformation Academy, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all that. Queens behind the scenes, P.O.I.S.E, Charise Beckett. I think you changed your name to Charise
Charise
Beckett.
Beckett, yes.
Charise.Beckett. She's on Instagram. Follow us to the T. We'll drop everything in the links below. We'll be on Instagram. There's going to be stuff. We're going to keep dropping so much. I see my hand is moving because I'm throwing it all
It
at
is.
y'all.
You're
I'm
throwing all the
throwing it
things
at
at
y'all.
them.
Just throwing at you. So catch it and be ready for it. There's some great episodes. Again, this is just the first series of more to come. So I think we have like 4 series.
We do. We have 4 cool series that we're going to do, 5
Mhm.
episodes each series. We've mapped them out. We're so excited because coming back, we both really were passionate about this project and we needed the break. To be honest, we needed the break. And in the meantime,
Right.
we both accomplished some really evolutionary and revolutionary, exceptional things. And I'm super proud of both of us, but we are back.
Right. We are back, folks. Charise Beckett and Mark Thompson here to give you corporately speaking. And guess what, folks? We're out. Peace.
Yes.